The guests laughed as the billionaire tossed a deck of cards across the marble table, his voice dripping with arrogance. "Let's see if the maid's kid even knows how to play." The boy stood frozen, his mother watching in silence, humiliation washing over her face. It was meant to be a joke, a cruel display of power in a mansion built on pride and prejudice. But no one knew that within this child's calm eyes hid something extraordinary. By the end of that night, the joke would turn on the billionaire himself. Watch till the end. Wait a second, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Malcolm was 12, quiet and observant. A boy who rarely spoke but saw everything. His mother, Evelyn, worked as a maid in the Hawthorne estate, a vast mansion owned by one of the city's most influential billionaires, Charles Hawthorne. Every weekend, Evelyn brought Malcolm along because she couldn't afford childcare. He would sit quietly in the kitchen corner, reading old books or sketching while his mother scrubbed the floors. That evening, the mansion buzzed with laughter and jazz as Hawthorne entertained his business partners. They bragged about wealth, stocks, and art while servants glided around like shadows. Malcolm wasn't supposed to be seen, but when his book slipped and clattered across the marble floor, all eyes turned. The room went silent. Hawthorne smirked. "Ah, Evelyn's boy. Let's give him something fun to do," he said, his tone sweet but cutting. No one yet realized the game that was about to begin. Hawthorne motioned for the boy to come forward. "Ever played poker, kid?" he sneered, shuffling a fresh deck. His friends chuckled, swirling glasses of aged whiskey. Evelyn whispered, "Please, sir, he's just a child." But the billionaire ignored her. "Come on, it's just for laughs," the boy nodded, his hands trembling slightly as he took a seat across from the man. The table glowed beneath a chandelier, cards snapping sharply in Hawthorne's hands. "Let's make it interesting," one guest said. "If the kid wins, I'll double your maid's salary. If he loses, she works for free this week." The laughter echoed like thunder. Malcolm said nothing. His small hands reached for the cards, his eyes scanning every gesture, every blink. He'd been quietly observing Hawthorne's poker nights for months, memorizing each bluff, each nervous tick. The first hand came and went. Malcolm folded. They jeered. The second, he lost again. Hawthorne smirked, leaning back with confidence. But by the third hand, something changed. Malcolm's face hardened. His eyes flicked to the man's ring finger, tapping twice, his left brow twitching when he bluffed. He started calling hands with eerie precision. By the sixth round, the laughter had stopped. The guests leaned in, whispering. The boy's pile of chips grew while Hawthorne's dwindled. The billionaire's confident smirk cracked. A strange tension filled the air. Something powerful was shifting, and everyone could feel it. Hawthorne slammed the table. "Enough! One last hand!" he barked. Sweat glistened on his forehead. The room had fallen deathly silent. He dealt the cards with shaky fingers, his eyes fixed on the boy. Malcolm studied him quietly, then smiled. Barely. Hawthorne bet everything. So did the boy. When the cards turned, gasps filled the room. The billionaire's face turned pale. The boy had beaten him with a perfect hand, a royal flush. No one moved. The fire crackled softly in the corner. Malcolm sat still, his small chest rising with quiet pride. Hawthorne stared at the cards, unable to speak. The laughter he once owned now belonged to the room itself, turned cold and sharp against him. In that moment, the mighty billionaire realized the joke had never been on the boy. It was on him. Hawthorne stood abruptly, his face a mask of humiliation. Without a word, he stormed out, leaving his guests in stunned silence. Evelyn rushed to her son, tears in her eyes, not of shame but of pride. That night, whispers spread across the city's elite circles. The story of the maid's genius son became legend. Years later, Malcolm would grow into one of the youngest mathematicians ever hired by a prominent investment firm, ironically one owned by Hawthorne's rivals. When reporters asked what inspired him, he smiled softly and said, "Once, someone bet against me because of who I was. And maybe that's the truth the world still needs to learn. Genius has no color, and arrogance has no future. Which country and city are you watching from? Take care."